Hi, this is Todd from the Scoundrels Cantina, and welcome to another episode of a Star Wars story. In this video, I'll be telling you the story of Jyn Erso, who is most notably seen in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and also the Rogue One Catalyst novel. As always, we're mixing the expanded universe and canon because we believe that there's no reason why most of it can't fit together. So anyway, let us begin. Jyn Erso was a human female who was born on the cold glacial planet of Vault in 21 BBY, which was during the Clone Wars. Her parents were Lyra and Galen Erso, who were in separatist captivity when she was born, due to the fact that Galen was a scientist with immense knowledge about kyber crystals. Soon after, she and her parents would be rescued by Orson Krennic, who was an old friend of Galen, who he knew from his time in the Republic's Future program. Krennic brought them to Coruscant, where they lived for the next couple of months, until Galen was offered a position to work on the planet Lakori, to which they then moved. In 19 BBY, when Jyn was 2 years old, the Separatists attacked Lakori and started to massacre everyone in their path. When they got to Galen and his family, to their relief, the droid army suddenly turned off. It was unknown to them why and how, but it signified the ending of the Clone Wars. With the ending of the war, the Republic was reorganized into the Galactic Empire by the former Supreme Chancellor, now Emperor, Sheev Palpatine. Soon after, Krennic would convince Galen to work for the Empire in a supposed Kyber Crystal Sustainable Energy project, which was in fact a superweapon development program called Project Celestial Power. The Ersos would spend the next 2 years in Coruscant due to the fact that Galen worked there, believing that his research was for humanitarian purposes. In 17 BBY, Lyra Erso somehow found out that the Kyber Crystal energy that Galen was researching was being used by Krennic for nefarious reasons, so she told Galen. Krennic would come to suspect this, and before he had a chance to assassinate her, she and her family escaped Coruscant with the help of a rebel hero called Saw Gerrera. They relocated to the planet called the Mu, which was unspoiled by the Empire. For the next 4 years, they lived in peace as moisture farmers. In the event of compromise, the Ersos established a plan which involved a hatchet room hidden underneath a rock that Jyn would escape to. In 13 BBY, director Orson Krennic came for Galen Erso because the Death Star's progression has halted. Eventually, Lyra was killed by the Death Troopers, and Galen was taken against his will, leaving only Saw Gerrera to take care of Jyn. For the next 8 years, she would be part of Saw Gerrera's rebel insurgents, and he would raise her as his own daughter. Jyn found a connection with the hardened warriors, but when a crippling setback occurred among the rebels, Gerrera abandoned Jyn, believing her origins could compromise himself and his cause. These events left Jyn with little capacity to trust others, nursing bitter feelings and hatred for the two fathers who had abandoned her. For the next 5 years, Jyn would survive by becoming a criminal. She would also use many aliases, but the most notable one was Liana Holic. Jyn racked up an extensive list of warrants and arrests, but she was able to escape from prison when captured. In 0 BBY, her luck ran out on Korrilag, and she ended up being transported to an Imperial labor camp on Wabani. Soon after, the clone turbo tank she was in was attacked by rebels who rescued her and took her to Yavin 4, where she learned of her father's message to the Rebel Alliance about a planet-killer superweapon. She, alongside Cassian Andor, who was an intelligence officer, traveled to Jeddah to recover the message from Saw Gerrera, who had been keeping the Imperial defector who had Galen's message. They were eventually captured by Saw's partisans, and Gerrera showed her the message her father sent, which revealed what the superweapon was and where to get its schematics and destroy it. While she watched, the Death Star was unleashed onto Jeddah, and she, alongside a few other companions, barely escaped. She would then travel to Iru, where her father was stationed, but due to the rebel attack on Galen's facility, he was killed when a Y-wing bomber directly hit the platform on which he was standing. Although, she managed to exchange a few brief words with him after not seeing or hearing from him for 13 years. Traveling to Yavin 4 and warning the Rebel Alliance, she, alongside her companions, organized an infiltration to the planet Scarif, where the Death Star schematics were kept. The rebels alongside her organized a distraction while she, Cassian, and K2SO infiltrated the Citadel complex where the plans and many other Imperial secrets were kept. Eventually, they managed to steal the Death Star plans, and thanks to the Rogue One team, transfer them to the Rebel fleet which arrived shortly after them. In the Battle of Scarif, everyone that was on the ground was slowly wiped out one by one, and the rebel fleet barely escaped. Jyn and Cassian were one of the last ones left. That is until the Death Star arrived and fired on Scarif, thus killing them. Thanks to her efforts, the rebels were able to destroy the Death Star at the Battle of Yavin and score one of the biggest victories in galactic history. She would also be remembered as a hero, as well as her father. Anyway guys, this is it on the story of Jyn Erso, and we hope you all enjoyed it and learned something new about the vast galaxy of Star Wars. If you want to watch more videos like this one, the link to the playlist of our other Star Wars stories will be in the description down below. And also, if you want to support this channel, hit that subscribe button for even more videos like this one. And remember guys, God is awesome, may the Force be with you always, and we'll see you in another video. You Rebel Scum.
This party's over.